who he talking to. Homie hopping, neither they all.
It's Madden NFL 24 on EA Sports, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Indianapolis Colts and the Minnesota Vikings, and it comes your way next.
Well, later tonight in November, snowfall is forecasted to hit the Twin Cities, but right now, calm outside, and of course, a calm day inside US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today, the calendar has flipped to November, and we've got an intriguing matchup on tap, as it'll be the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Brandon Gaudin, so pleased to be joined, as always, by Charles Davis. CD, these Vikings had things rolling in 2022, a 13-4 record, new head coach, an exciting offense, but it all came crashing down in another early playoff exit.
And that really was because of the defensive side of the ball. They had a terrific record. Would they win 11 games by one score or less, an NFL record? Got to get strong on the defensive side in order to get deeper into the playoffs.
And meanwhile, for the Colts, it's been a pretty hard fall the last couple of years. From 11 wins in 2020 to just 4 a season ago. How do they get back on the right path?
I think they've started back on the right path with the change in the coaching staff, but a lot of it, players already on the roster playing back to the levels we've seen before.
So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They're led out by the rookie, picked 164th in this past draft out of BYU, Jaron Hall.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100 plus the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
14 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area.
And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, Vikings! KJ Osborne, 55 yards. And the Vikings need just 2 plays on their opening drive to take the early lead. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Greg Joseph on for the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. Pretty clean and simple there, just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. From his end zone, Isaiah McKenzie. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Colts offense set to go to work, and they're led by a guy who's bounced around a bit the last few years, hoping to find a home with Indianapolis, Gardner Minshew.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game, almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, the other team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
2nd and 7. Minshew sets to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinating. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
And Minshew with nowhere to go, and they take him to the ground. Dean Lowry in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. Brandon Powell deep for Minnesota. And taken at the 46. A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return. And the Vikings always set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. Here's Hall. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Now it's Hall. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Good defensive call right there because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route. And he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from making another catch to his big start.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
So on 4th down, on is the punter Ryan Wright. And now the up man has it. It's a fake, but he will not come anywhere close to the 1st down marker, and that gives us a turnover on downs. A little trickeration there, but it doesn't fool this defense. And the Colts are going to take over with a football. 2nd drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
On 2nd and 10, it's Minshew. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. And Daniil Hunter, he's the one who gets in there and brings him down to the ground.
Well, we knew this guy wasn't especially fleet of foot, but he tried to conjure up some escapability, but there was no way he was getting away on that one.
Now 3rd down and very long. Here's Minshew. And that is incomplete.
2 drives will tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get on track in this one.
To punt on 4th down, here's Rigoberto Sanchez. On the return is Powell. 35 yards that time on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10.
Ready. Ready.
Here's Hall. Throw left side, and Osborne has it. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
So how do you beat man coverage? First of all, you want to be a superior receiver, but you know something, that guy who's covering you, he's usually pretty good too. So the corner route is usually a great spot to get it done.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Now Hall. This is caught. Touchdown, Vikings. Jordan Addison, 32 yards. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Now on this play, he just made a great route. The quarterback had to deliver it, sure, but a great route run there.
And Brandon, this is what the best receivers do. They work on their route running, because it's one thing to have athletic ability, but to really get open, you have to set up defensive backs with different routes and be precise in your cuts.
Joseph on for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds, so really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. Well, you don't see that often. He just mishit it, and it goes out of bounds.
Well, I know sitting up here, and I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, and I know we're both thinking the same thing. Isn't it easy enough to keep it between the sidelines? Because unless you're intentionally doing it for some reason, well, that's a costly mishit, and now you put your team in a bad spot.
Now Minshew on 1st and 10. Finds his big tight end, Mo Alley-Cox. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They've needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Mekhi Blackman gets in for the tackle. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football. Let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
A gain of 11 that time, and a Colts first down.
And this pass rush has really been bringing the heat and has already gotten home a few times here in the first half. So how about the play call there? Sometimes if you can't protect, you've got to fool them. Screen passes like that can take a little steam out of what's been a relentless rush so far.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Colts in possession. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. 1st and 10, Taylor now.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play there, 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game, because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down.
I certainly like what he did right there, because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. Jordan Hicks with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different...
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
I think they saw something there. I mean, they came from the right side deliberately, and you know there's always a designated guy who goes and blocks it, but it's the rest of his teammates that get him free.
Jordan Addison in the offense out for another drive. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally, he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that, too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise, he can really decimate them.
You better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after the last one ended up as a touchdown, but incompletions on their first two throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on third down to get their momentum going again.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
That might be the third down stop that they needed, because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
So on fourth down, Ryan Wright on to punt for Minnesota. Back deep for the Colts, Isaiah McKenzie. And now the punt team couldn't get ready in time, and this is going to be a delay.
Delay of game, offense.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. And here's Ryan Wright now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Now they're going to try this again. It's another fake. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. Fourth down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the sticks make a drastic shift forward. And I don't know what the method is to know when to dial up a fake punt, when not to. Whatever the method there, it worked for them.
I think you actually did explain it. There is no method. It's just a feel, a sense, and a healthy dose of guts in order to call that play in that situation.
Element of surprise, I guess, right?
Yeah, element of surprise and just a strong belief that, hey, we're going to get it done.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
He took a shot there, but boy, was that ill-advised from my viewpoint. Coverage was awfully tight. How did he get away with that one not being picked off?
2nd and 10.
Ready.
Back to throw, Hall. That's going to be caught. Touchdown, Vikings. KJ Osborne with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Vikings take the blocked field goal and convert it into 6 points.
Remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
And 3 touchdown passes. You're right, he looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents and also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. This fielded right at the goal line. And he will make it back to the 15, and that's it. Good coverage there by the kick team. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit, and if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
So 2nd and 4 from the 22. Now Minshew. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Danielle Hunter, that is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got us.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And now following that turnover, they've got an opportunity here to try to cash in with good field position before intermission. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
We know he has a lot of confidence in his arm and likes to force it downfield, but the coverage was tight there. Fortunate it wasn't picked off.
Now a 2nd and 10. Throwing here is Hall. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. K.J. Osborne on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings continue to pull away here in this first half.
So whatever happened to rookie quarterbacks taking time to adjust to life in the NFL? Because this guy looks like he's been doing it for about, 7 years? 4 touchdown passes? That's not something rookies are supposed to be doing with the ease in which he's doing it.
Joseph now to have the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's polished off by a Viking score. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. McKenzie now from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Colts getting another possession here on offense. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least 1 practice each week before a game. A minute left. More than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Minshew, 1st and 10. They're going right back to Pittman. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Throwing on first down is Minshew. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
Throwing on 2nd down now, Minshew. This one completes Alec Pierce. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 19. Now the Colts going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Looking to throw it. Minshew delivers another one to Pierce. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it's 2nd down. It'll be Minshew again. And an off-balance throw there, and it's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once.
Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. And the Vikings are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
And when a team advances as far as they did, got over the 50-yard line, don't you think that drive deserved a better ending? I think he needs to get with his coaches on the sidelines, make some immediate adjustments, and that's what you do. You don't wait. You do it from series to series because drives like that end with a turnover, that's multiple times they picked him off already in this opening half.
Here we go.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. This is caught by Addison. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. McKenzie now from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now back to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6. Motion man right, that's Pierce. Now here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give to Taylor. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Well, that ground game just continues to struggle to really get any momentum in this ball game, Charles. And I mean, you're at the point here, 3rd quarter, down 4 scores, probably going to have to put it in the air.
Oh, no question about it. So that's your only chance, your only opportunity. But think of the pressure you just put on your offensive line, because if you're a pass rusher, you're not even thinking about them running the football. All you're doing is getting into that sprinter stance and going after the quarterback.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on to punt for Indianapolis. Here's Powell on the return. And shedding through the tackle. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD. And now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, they score here. This one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already be at that point, partner, because this team, they were dominant in the first half, continue to be dominant now, and I think they're viewing this as a put-away drive on their way to a lopsided victory. Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
Now this throw caught left side. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
On the set. Ready?
Here's Madison running on first down. And a good run here as he'll run all the way down to the 40-yard line. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
Well, they've certainly been successful throwing it around in this game. That's allowed them to move the ball on offense. But I've got to tell you, to watch them run the football and successfully, I'm not taking sides. But to see the ball in a running back's hands, oh, that's football for me.
They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6.
The way things have gone in this one, the running game's been something of an afterthought, and that's not been too bad for them, has it?
Yeah, the offensive returns have been good, but I guess we figured he in the ground game would be a bit more involved.
Ready.
On 2nd down, this is Madison. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. Offensive line right now really freeing up the rushing lanes on this drive.
And we have to give them props. They've earned them. But these big runs that we're seeing, they don't result without everyone else being involved as well. Blocking on the perimeter has to take place downfield too.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Another carry now for Madison. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. 19 yards for Alexander Madison. And the Vikings are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter. Boy, another score. This lead gets even bigger. And, Charles, we haven't even hit the fourth quarter yet.
Well, forget the deficit, right? They're really not going to cut into that a heck of a lot. But how can they get out of here with some dignity? Can they get a stop or two? Can they make a play on offense themselves? Anything to start to feel better about what's happened to them here in this one.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and that makes this 35-0 now. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. McKenzie now from his end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
On 2nd down, Minshew. A short throw. This is caught by Cox. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
And Minshew with nowhere to go, and they take him to the ground. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him.
Let's go ahead and put check marks by it all, partner. No points. Down by 4 touchdowns. Haven't had anything going today on offense. Why not add a late sack to the mix? Obviously a day to forget for all involved. Let's give plenty of credit to this defensive effort. They've been excellent from start to finish.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Fielded at the 33. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and they will take over 1st and 10. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field.
This has really just been a lopsided affair. What a performance they put on, and now they get the football back here with a big lead in the 4th quarter. You know, in the past, we might be discussing dinner plans, talking about steak and sushi, whatever the case.
There he goes, left side. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Vikings. Alexander Madison, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Vikings add another 6 points to what's going to be a blowout victory.
Oh, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and it is 42-0. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. McKenzie now from his end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the 4th quarter, facing the big deficit. Just what silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big, you really have like one possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
Buying time to his left, and he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
It hasn't been the cleanest game for him, but there was a sign of improvement as he looks towards the next one. Nice bit of scrambling to move the sticks, and even more importantly, he didn't risk adding another interception to his ledger.
Minshew's throw caught by Pierce. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It'll be a gain of 17 and an Indianapolis 1st down. Minshew sets to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. 2nd and 20. Another try after the 1st down sack. Minshew, and that throw behind his man. He missed him, incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete as well.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on for the 5th time here today. Taken in at the 22. A nice punt, but a good run back as well of 13 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. Minnesota's offense takes over possession, and a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Going to begin the drive here with Madison. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. 124 yards rushing for him now to this point.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
4th quarter with the lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on 1st down. They did that +3.
And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A big run there, 29 yards and a first. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps, because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they are powering through, and they're controlling this game.
Going to run with Madison again, and he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down, because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
So from the 25, this is 2nd and 5. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the stuff that we saw happen today. Those are statistics, numbers, the whole deal. But my question is, how does one team come ready to play, and the other one, obviously, not ready at all?
Boy, I mean, I obviously don't have an answer to that, but that was the story from the get-go. One side was awake and ready, and the other just seemed to sleep. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Vikings as we say so long from Minneapolis.